And we move into choreography. Now, dance is an art of time and space, so we have to have some basic components. We have to have the dancers, we have to have a space for them to exist in, and we have to have movement primarily from one position to another. Now, the focus in dance is on composition, much like in painting, and elements of music, even if none are present. So you can read it as both with elements and ideas from music, and also elements and ideas from visual arts. So we're going to start with formalized movement. All movement in dance stems at some level from ballet, and there are 5 key positions in ballet. Sorry, wrong positions. There are 5 key positions in ballet, and from these, we get a number of variations. But they're all based on these 5. So we have things like Demi-hauteur, which is one variation. Now, much of the excitement of ballet comes from the physical strain and skill of the dancers. If you're wondering about the physical strain, stand up from your seat right now. No, go ahead. Really, stand. No, you need to stand up. I see that. Okay, thank you. So stand up and now try and stand on point. Basically on the 2 largest toes on each foot. And see how long you can stay up on point, if you can even get there. And you might want to use a wall to do this. It's incredibly difficult, and it's one of the basic skills of ballet. So they're seen as athletes, probably more so than most sports that you may have participated in. One of the most familiar aspects of ballet is dancing on point. Other forms, such as world and folk dance, have similar formalized movements and ideas. For example, Irish dance is set entirely within a strict convention of costume, movement, and step, much like with ballet. And the same holds true for modern dance, for folk dance, etc. So let's talk about line, form, and repetition. Line, form, and repetition apply here just like in paintings and sculptures. So we can look at the body and the form of a dancer at any moment as we do a sculpture. You can kind of take a snapshot of the dancer or dancers at the time and examine them just like if they were a sculpture. And this is often helpful for students to interpret dance. Therefore, dance is seen at 2 levels. One as pictorial communication, employing symbols in the form of the dancer's body. So you can read it as sculpture. We can also read it as the design of transition with movement between those individual positions. So we can read the movement separate from the body form if we so choose. Now, repetition becomes important because the dancers move through time as well as space. And these repetitious forms, these either repeated poses or maybe repeated positioning on stage, really help us understand it. When watching a dance, you should focus on how movements, ensembles, scenery, and individual bodies explore diagonal, curved, or asymmetric lines. Just like in 2-dimensional art, if you see someone moving diagonally, it's usually a sense of action. Horizontally gives us a sense of stability. Vertically, of course, would be nearly impossible without a wire. So just like we perceive the elements of composition in a painting as they are explored by the artist, we can look at the dance and look at the stage itself as a frame in which that dance is occurring. So looking at it as a series of images, since we're generally more familiar with dealing with images than we are with dealing with dance.